All right, my man. Here we are. Sorry, people. I screwed it all up. I didn't have Jeff on, so I get to share this. Hold on, Jeff. Jeff is on right now, but I get to share this everywhere before everyone kills me. Sorry, everyone out there. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. I'll do it all over again. All right, Jeff. Jeff Joy in the house. Let me get you on, Jeff Joy. Oh, oh, there he is. Jeff, I'm so sorry, man. Jeff Joy driving home from. Jeff, where are you driving home from?
Dude, actually, I made the trip up to Brazilian top team tonight to go train with Rob Robertson, a bunch of his guys, and actually JoJo was there tonight, so we got a round in too. We did a lot of like Noki. It was an open mat format, so it was good. It was good to mix it up. A lot of good guys up there. It's it's kind of you. Nothing against taunting or anything like that, but you're like, there's a fucking, that gym has got a bunch of killers in there.
Well, speaking
So
speaking of Mr. Robinson, that was the dude that you were in that Enigma competition with, correct?
yeah, man, he fucking threw the rear naked choke on me real quick, bro. He got me good.
Yeah, but what you talked about after that was you made a post, but he got everyone good that day.
Oh, he choked everybody out. Yeah, he was on fire, bro.
So
And I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, I'm definitely sure. He took third in the world at purple belt in the gi, and then right after that, I believe he got his brown belt. So he's got some very slick jiu-jitsu.
excellent, my man. Well, how did that not partnership, but how'd you get in touch with him to train? Were you talking to him at the event, and you said, "Hey, dude, I gotta roll with you," off to the side?
Yeah, so I talked to him after the event, like you just said, and I talked to his coach, and I was just like, hey, man, I was like, and when you get to a certain level, you do a lot of cross training anyway. So I just kind of, I asked if it was cool. I was like, hey, man, can I come up there one day and just, roll with some of the guys up there? And, you know, his 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 coach was real cool, and he said, anytime you want to come up, we got a lot of guys that come through. JoJo goes there a lot. You got Jack Stapleton; he goes there a lot. So I'm trying to fit that in the schedule. Go up there at least once a week.
Well, you have another tournament coming, and some of these guys are going to be in that tournament also. But you're not in the tournament. You're doing a super fight, correct? Or are you doing it? Are you in the tournament?
I'm just doing the super fight.
So you're not going to be grappling then against these guys. So that's cool that you can get some training in with them and stuff like that. So, dude, you got a big combat jiu-jitsu fight coming, man. It's not exactly MMA and what you want right at this moment, but it's kind of fun and something different and something we haven't really had in New England much of. Let's talk about it and how it came about, how you got the opportunity and how they came up to you and said, hey, Jeff, you want to slap people around while you're grappling?
yeah, no. That's going to be a relatively new thing. I don't know. I can't speak for any other parts of the country, but I know, in New England, I don't think. Have you heard of that happening? Has there been any combat jiu-jitsu matches?
I think there was one, but it wasn't a sanctioned one. It was like kind of a Eric Bofi. He has them smoker shows. I think he had something like that. But it wasn't very successful, you know what I mean? It was kind of like put together, kind of, how them low level smokers are made sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, I mean, definitely a big shout-out to Enigma Jiu-Jitsu, that academy up in, I believe it's Londonderry, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Young kid, I love seeing that. I love seeing the young kids get after it. Christoph's, he can't be, I think he's like 19 or 20, and he
Yeah.
opened that gym, and I know that kid's got some, slick fucking jiu-jitsu. So I thought it was really cool that he put on tournaments like, invitational only with money, because it's cool to roll for a medal and stuff like that, but there's not much money in any of this shit, unless you're like top in the world. You know how that goes. So I think it's real cool that he switched up the format a little bit. And then when I was up there a little bit after, he had pitched the idea to me, and then he ended up reaching out to me on a text message and asked me if I wanted to compete against Anthony Basta. So that's kind of how that came about.
Well, I'm going to put your poster up here, the poster of the ad like they put up, because they do really cool stuff when they pay-per-view and Northeast Combat do a lot of good stuff for them. So it's going to be streamed. I'm not sure it's going to be streamed live, but you can watch it the next day, I guess, the whole event on their streaming network. But what you thinking about Anthony? Anthony just came off an MMA fight last weekend.
Yeah, man, I watched that fight. That was super close. You know how the hometown crowd goes, not hometown crowd, but he kind of got a. I feel that fight could have went either way. That was very close. I would have hated them to judge on that one. But I think he's he's a hell of a kid, tough kid. Kind of down for whatever. Doesn't really give a fuck, who it is. So he's down to fight whoever. I respect that. So I'm looking forward to competing with him, and it's like. In terms of MMA-wise, obviously there's a certain mindset. When you're going into a fight, you're not going to be buddy-buddy with somebody. And, you're going to, I never really talk shit. That's not my thing. So I'm definitely respectful whenever I go into an MMA match. But jiu-jitsu and even combat jiu-jitsu, it's a little bit looser. So, you can kind of have fun with it. It's not like, I'm going to fucking kill you.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm looking forward to
wait
it.
Wait a minute, Jeff. There's a lot of you MMA guys there that are going to be in this this jiu-jitsu, combat jiu-jitsu that haven't fought in a little while. There might be. How big is the ref going to be in there? You're going to have, Big Dan in there? You never know what's going on. I know what you mean, though, but.
Yeah, he might slap the shit out of me. I might be like, all right, motherfucker.
So, Jeff, how do you prepare for something like this? I mean, how do you prepare for combat jiu-jitsu? What entails and what's legal, what's not legal? Like, do you know exactly what's going on, or will the rules, like, they'll tell you the rules when you get there?
Oh, so, I made a point to reach out to Christos, and he kind of gave me the rundown. He was like, pretty much the rule set is you're going to start standing. There's no slaps while you are standing, but as soon as you hit the canvas, you're free to drop bombs, as he said. So I know the pretty much the only rule is you can't start out stand up slapping. So you got to work for the takedown. As soon as your opponent's down, that's when you can start engaging in the slaps.
Excellent. John Duma going to be going against Johnny Campbell in there. A couple of other guys in there, man. This is a big to-do, man. I don't know if that gym's going to be able to hold the people that are going to want to watch this stuff.
Dude, honestly, I'm expecting big shit out of them. That's like, he's really getting after it as far as, trying to do a new trend-setting thing. And, I'm all for it. So, I told him I'm down. Unless I have a short notice MMA fight and have to pull out, but anytime he wants me to go compete up there, I'm definitely for it, because he has some good kids come through and compete, and that's what it's all about.
So as far as with your other trainer, I saw you on getting some boxing rounds and stuff. How you getting your stand up? Where you training out of? Where you getting some rounds in, and where you traveling to get that other side of the work?
So stand up, I'm kind of at a couple different places, really. I still work with my boxing coach, Josh Belanger. He, for people that don't really know his background, he was, a very good athlete coming up, and he got a scholarship to UMass Amherst on a football scholarship. But before that, he was an amateur boxer, when he was little, with people like Rocky Gonzalez. He knew Sean Fitzgerald, all those guys. So that's where his roots are out of, Worcester. So I go up in, the last time I was up near Worcester, I sparred with Jermaine Ortiz for about I want to say we got like 5-6 rounds in before he went on that Mike Tyson card. So I really appreciate, that invitation and going to work with those guys. And so I work with him, and then I also am at a gym called Bodywork Boxing. It was called Boxing Strong, but he had to change the name, and that's down in Cedarville, and it's owned by Jonathan Schick, who was an amateur boxer, and his son is amateur boxer as well. He won the Golden Gloves in 2018, I think. So he holds pads for me and extends his doors, and I really appreciate that, because a lot of these guys, they don't charge anything.
Yeah.
And, these days it's all about the money, and you know how that shit goes. And then last but not least, of course, I'm still with Gresh.
Yeah.
So I go over to his house and work stand-up too, and he has me spar Sweetbread as much as he can. I think I sparred him a couple times this month, but I know he just left to go corner Fabio.
Yeah.
So, that's like a Saturday format. If Dennis can come down, I spar with him. I have my other sparring partners working with this kid, Sergey. I forget how you pronounce his last name. This kid came over from Russia. He's lived right near the Ural Mountains, and he's a very good purple belt. We've been working a lot with him, and he's expected to make his amateur debut soon, so I get a lot of work in with him. And then there's a kid named Nick Lopes, and he's amateur Muay Thai guy. So I get a lot of rounds with him, and he holds pads for me. So there's a lot of mixtures of a lot of different people I work with.
Excellent, man. Well, you're getting all that work, and not that you weren't well-rounded before, but you're sharpening that sword. Dude, your last fight was a Muay Thai amateur fight at Cage Titans at the combat night there, man. That was your last fight. What was that? Was that like January or something like that of 2020?
Yeah, that was January 25th, 2020, and I really wanted to do another MMA fight, whether if it was like go up in weight and do another title, or maybe call somebody out from the U.S. Northeast. We were looking at like this kid Matt Hicks, who was ranked #1, just trying to get trying to always fight progressively better people. I come off that Cam Arnold fight. But in the first round, I separated my shoulder and tore my labrum. Right at the end of the round, I did a snap-down guillotine, and he double-legged me, and I landed right on my shoulder. So that ended up getting torn and separated. So we opted out not to have surgery, and I tried to come back too fast. So my whole team was like, yeah, if you want to fight, you're going to do a Muay Thai fight. You're not going to do any wrestling or grappling. So that's how that came about.
Excellent, man. Well, you were like one of the last ones in New England to get some work in there, man. Cage Titans, you were going to definitely be back for them, like you said. Defended. You weren't. You actually giving up your title, correct? Or did you give that up before the April show? And Cam was going to fight for that. Yeah.
So I fought Cam, and then we all sat down and. I had turned 29 after that fight, so I got into this shit late. I mean, I've only really been training MMA for about 3 years now. So I know Greg Rebello sat me down and Gresh, and they were like, if you really want to do this, it's time to go pro, because, what's your next move? You're going to become #1 in the U.S. Northeast. I think at that time I was ranked #1 in New England, so they just kind of weighed the pros and cons. And they said you should step back, and turn pro. So Arthur is, he's not like a really good buddy, but he's a buddy of mine, and I respect him, and I don't believe on sitting on a title that I wasn't going to defend again. Yeah. So, I reached out to Mike and said, hey, man, if you want another banger of a fight, this will probably be a good fight, and I'm willing to what's that called? Vacate
vacate it. Yeah, that's it.
I mean, that shit was real important to me because, I had a conversation with my late brother right before he died about that, and that was always a goal of mine is to go get that. So, that title's sitting down in Gresh's basement, and that's where it's going to stay. That's a very sentimental thing to me. So, but after that was done, it was, it's just kind of another mountain to climb,
Yeah, definitely. Well, you got another mountain to climb that you're trying to climb, or you're trying to get a fight to climb, and you want to make your pro debut this year. What's going on? Are you you're under full contact management? Is there any talks? Is there any talks between promotions? Is anything going on with that, or is there a timeline with you?
Yeah, I mean, there's talks. I had, actually, before I signed with Full Contact, I had a fight opportunity out in Philadelphia. Nothing was, set in stone, but I talked to the promoter out there, and she was like, this is possibly coming up. So I went down to Florida to train in the middle of 2020 last year, and I actually caught COVID at one of the gyms down there. I was training at American Top Team, not the Coconut Creek one, but the one in West Palm Beach. And then I was doing some boxing down there as well. So I was getting ready for a fight, and then that kind of all fell through. So then I had to bounce back from COVID, started training again, and then I got an offer from Bellator to fight this kid, Jalen Bates, who at the time was #1 amateur in the country. And I know Bellator signed him to a 3-fight deal. So I know Bellator went to all the regional #1 kids and offered them that fight. I wanted to take it as a competitor. It wasn't the smartest thing for me. And, my coaches sat me down and said, we don't want to take that fight as of now. They're like, we want to get you used to being pro and give you some certain fights before you start fighting kids like that.
Exactly. And Jeff, you got to get used to throwing them elbows and being able to do that, that extra, them use that extra tools that you haven't been able to, you know what I mean? 1 or 2 fights in there, man, you're ready for that, Yeah,
so for sure. So that's how that all things happened. And then right at the end of 2020, I was in contact with Full Contact Management and ended up signing with them. I know they're a relatively new company, but I believe in them, and I'm hoping for big things with me, obviously, and just everybody on that roster. I know it's an extremely tough time for fights because just of the whole situation going on in the country. As of right now, I'm in loose talks with CFFC about possibly an April card.
Okay.
But they fill up so fast. And then I'm also talking to a promotion down in Florida. But everything is kind of loose talks at this point, just like, hey, I'm interested, and we're just kind of keeping in contact. They haven't given me names or, anything like that.
Excellent, man. Well, your name's out there. It's being tossed around, so that's a big start right there. And, man, a lot of things are going on in Florida as far as fighters heading down there and getting some work. Richie heading down there and fighting for Fury, and awesome, man. Well, Jeff, we got another dude coming on that is signed under Full Contact Management. He made his pro debut for CFFC. So tune in if you can. He'll tell you about his experience with them, and it make you even want to fight for them more, because I hear they treated them real well, and it's a very good promotion that's on Fight Pass. So, man, last thing, Jeff, shout outs, social media, and last words before I let you go.
Yeah, man, I definitely want to shout out, all the people that, helped me out. I'm very fortunate to have a lot of people that take out their time, to help me just out of the love of it, and, the relationships I've built with certain people. So, definitely CrossFit 1620. They've been a sponsor of mine. I believe right after the Will Alfano fight, they sponsored me. So they let me work out there free, and, they help me out behind the scenes and shit like that. There's a recovery specialist out of there. Her name's Jillian, and if anybody wants to check her out, I think her tag is The Training Room on Instagram. So I do especially after getting injured in that cam fight, my shoulder's a little fucked up, and she does a lot of cupping, scraping, like what I believe it's Western medicine they call it, right? The alternative healing type shit.
Yeah.
She's
a witch. She's a witch doctor, Jeff. Just say she's a witch.
Yeah, pretty much. She's cool as fuck though. She does. She's helped me out a lot. I know there were certain exercises I couldn't do, and I'm starting to be able to do like, man ups again, overhead squats, shit like that. Definitely shout out to Bodywork Boxing, which I always call them Boxing Strong, but I don't want to get the names mixed up. John Chick over in Cedarville, who takes his time. My team, Josh Belanger, Michael Gresh, Loco Lobo, and just all the training partners, really. Junico, still sponsored by them, still work out of there. I'm excited to get to it. We'll see what happens.
Excellent, my man. Well, pleasure talking to you, Jeff. Always catching up. I did, catch up with you at the Enigma tournament. We'll be there again. Lars and Travis will be there with me this time, and we'll be like shadows on you guys. We're gonna really promote it big. All the fights, all the tournaments, and it's going to be a special day for New England and the jiu-jitsu community. So, Jeff, thanks again, man, for coming on, dude. And anyone you want to tag, just throw them on the feed here, and people can check them out, okay?
Yeah, definitely, man. And last but not least, definitely shout out to Full Contact Management. I appreciate everything they're doing behind the scenes. So
awesome, my man. Jeff, you have a good night, man, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, bud. I'll talk to you.
All right, later.
Later.
All right, there's my man, Jeff Joy. I'm going to be calling Jonathan Piersma in one sec. Hopefully, it works. You know what I mean? Hopefully this works. Jonathan, where is Jonathan? Let me get his stuff up right now. So awesome interview with Jeff. Jeff's going to be making his pro debut. Definitely, he talked about April, hopefully getting on CFFC then. And like he said, the cards fill up. They have two cards in March. I forgot the dates on them, but they're back-to-back Thursday and Friday. I think the Thursday card is already full, and Friday is probably 3/4 full. So they're hot and heavy. Fighters in the country are trying to get on these cards, and, they're big cards. So let me get John's text and profile picture. Let me get him up there, and let me tell him he can call me right now. Call me now. And Jonathan, let me tell him, call me now. Jonathan, it's Jon Piersma. His formal name is Jonathan Piersma, but we're going to call him Jon Piersma. So I just let him know to call me right now. So John is coming off a win at CFFC, his pro debut, welterweight pro debut, where he came away with a first round guillotine. I think it was a mounted guillotine finish. Basically popped the dude's head off. That was Jonathan is, hold on. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta accept John. Where is he? John?
Hello?
Jonathan.
Oh, I think I called you just on audio.
All right, call me right back. All right, he called me on audio, not a video, which would have worked also because his picture's up here, and he does look fabulous. So this dude's 170. He's a big 170-pounder. Let me get the feed. He's probably fixing his camera right now, or his phone. Oh, there he is. What happened? Jonathan is calling me. All right, so let me get that out. Accept. Let me see. There's John. What's up, my man?
What's up?
Hey, man. Yeah, you're driving. Everyone's driving. Are you driving or someone driving you?
Well, I'm just in my car. I'm not driving, yeah.
Awesome, man. All right, let me get you on here so people can see you there. There's Jon Piersma, man. Dude, thanks so much for calling. I know you just got out of practice and all that. How's everything going?
Pretty good, I think.
What do you mean you think? Like, is it going good?
It'd be better if I could get a fight.
Are you all right? Are you like? I know you got some jiu-jitsu stuff coming, and we'll talk about that. But how you know? Are you looking for a fight? What's going on? Is there talks there? Is there names being thrown at you, or is just not a card available right now?
Well, so I was hoping originally to be on the CFFC cards that are March 11th and 12th.
Yeah.
But I guess they didn't have any slots. They already had it filled up. So I'm kind of waiting. I'm hoping they're doing a card April 1st and 2nd, and I guess they're going to try to get me on that. So I'm hoping they get me a fight.
So they have been in talks, and that they want to have you back definitely after your pro debut.
Yeah, from my understanding, yeah, they're. It sounds like I was talking to Lars, and he said he was talking to the matchmaker, and he said that he would try to get me on, hopefully.
Excellent, man. Well, great show in there, bro. It was an early Christmas present for your family and friends and you. December 18th, I do believe you fought, and you fought. You fought another individual, Tyler Bunting. Was that his name?
Yeah.
Making his pro debut also, and it was a rescheduling because he had to pull out in November, and they had to reschedule the fight. So, and it was over a year since you fought, so you've been used to kind of fights being pulled out. So, what was your thought on that when it got pulled out in November? Were you sure you're going to get another shot in December, or were you kind of like your fingers are crossed and like, here we go again?
Well, I mean, I kind of wasn't surprised from the year I've been having, or everyone's been having, kind of. But they said right the day he had to pull out, they said they were gonna hopefully reschedule for December. But I didn't have my hopes up that high because you never know with that kind of stuff. But luckily, it ended up getting rescheduled, and I was able to get one in last year.
Excellent, my man. Well, Jon, I do have your fight video here. I'm gonna play it, and hopefully, I don't get shut down when I play it. But let's talk about it because it was your pro debut on Fight Pass. You had CM Punk calling your fight. I think John Morgan is also part of that. Is he also on that, or is he on LF? Where's John Morgan? I think he's with CFFC.
I think so. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the guy with the guy with the head the size of a watermelon.
Yeah, he does it with CM Punk.
Yeah, big blue eyes. Watermelon head with big blue eyes.
Yeah. It was
Sorry, Jon. I mean, you're one of my heroes, but it's true.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think he does it too.
All right, so Jon, I got your fight here, and if the feed gets knocked off here, I got it recorded, and we're gonna throw it on YouTube tomorrow, so you won't miss anything. We'll be releasing it. So, Jon, let's talk about the fight. I got your little walkout and stuff. But let's talk about how you felt in there. And, man, it was pretty quick. And let's talk about it.
Yeah, it went pretty much as good as I could have hoped, I guess. It was a little bit, I think the biggest thing was no crowd was a little bit weird. Not necessarily in a bad way. I was kind of very relaxed. There was no crowd. It was kind of like, I don't know, kind of in the gym, just out there, quiet. I don't know. It was different, but yeah, it was good. I was nice and relaxed. I wasn't too amped up. I felt confident going in. The game plan was take him down, and I felt confident that's where I had the advantage. As soon as I shot in on that double, got him down. I could just feel that I had a big advantage in that area. Even if I didn't finish that guillotine, I felt really confident that it was going to be a long night for him.
Well, yeah, that was going to be my next question because when, the commentators were talking, they were talking about how fresh it is in the fight and how much an advantage that is when you're trying to get in that choke, that there's no sweat and there's no slippery. But you were moving it and you were working it and working it. What were you feeling from him that while you were working that? Were you feeling him fade? Because you were really putting the pressure on this kid. And they were talking about, the commentators were talking about maybe you burning your arms out. You were still in a great position. But what were you feeling at that point?
Well, as soon as I took him down, I passed guard pretty easily. That guillotine from, mount where I finished it. But the guillotine in general is probably my favorite submission. I do that all the time. So as soon as I got it from side control, I kind of grabbed it. And a lot of time I just kind of use it, not necessarily to finish it, but just kind of see what they're going to do. To go to mount, go to other places. But as soon as I stepped over to mount with it, it started getting tighter, and I could feel him start to kind of, panic a little bit. So I knew as soon as I was able to adjust and get my other arm in there and really hip into it, I knew he was in trouble, and I could feel him start to really panic, and I knew that I probably had it. So I just kind of really put the pressure on for the last 15, 20 seconds and got the tap.
Now, with no crowd there, were your coaches coaching you in that, or they knew you were locked in? They knew you were going to have that. But I could hear the other coaches though telling him to relax and keep his hips moving. But man, now he was caught in a fish trap, and man, with your arms, I mean, you're a heavy welterweight when you get in there, man. That's just no fun.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I rarely hear my coaches. I don't know. I guess I'm just so zoned in on the fight. I rarely hear them, so I didn't really even hear them during the fight at all. But as soon as I got that guillotine, I kind of knew that I had a good chance to finish it. And in my head, I was thinking, even if I wasn't going to finish the guillotine, once I got to mount, my next thing was I was just going to let it go. I was going to posture up and just put elbows on him.
Throw them elbows that you haven't got a chance to use yet.
I was ready to, let those elbows fly.
Oh yeah, I could just imagine. I mean, he was halfway. He would have been in trouble. He was. Oh my God, that would have been bad.
That would have been good.
He would have been like almost half out, and you would have been just like landing on things. That would have been bad. So, dude, you got interview after and all that other stuff, man. That usually doesn't happen like right from the first. Were you the first fight of the night?
Second.
Second fight. So how was that? Did you know you were going to get interviewed? CM Punk grabs you off to the side. He starts talking to you. But right after the fight, right after you got up after the win, you were throwing some F-bombs out there that they really appreciated. They loved that you were that pumped up.
Yeah, I was hyped up.
It's been a while, man. It's been a while. So how was it to just get interviewed, man? Because that's something that doesn't, happen every day on your pro debut.
Yeah, it was cool. I knew before because they told us in the back that, if you win, right after you got a cage, come over and get your interview. So I knew I'd get an interview if I won type thing. But yeah, it was cool, talk to CM Punk. I think, like, my friends and family were more excited about it than me. I had everyone like, oh, my God, it's cool. You're talking to CM Punk. And I was like, yeah, it was cool. But, I was just more so hyped up from the win still. I wasn't really, focused in on the fact I was talking to CM Punk.
Definitely.
But yeah, it was cool. It's just kind of something cool, first pro win, got interviewed by CM Punk, and yeah, it was cool. Everyone was joking around saying I should have called him out.
That would have been awesome, man. Well, you know, it's pretty funny because I go on your Instagram, I go on your Facebook, and I'll get pictures for the show and stuff. And when I went there was like multiple posts of like CM Punk interviewing you. So and you were tagged in it about 1,000 times, man. You probably still haven't got through all your feeds since then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got a lot of them.
Well, my man, you're staying busy with some jiu-jitsu. That fight was in January. I do believe. Did you enter a tournament recently? Not too long ago.
So I did a tournament in, I think it was like second week of January. I did one. Yeah. That was actually the same kind of tournament I'm doing this time. Same guy's running it. It's like a 16-man bracket. Anyone can enter, any belt, anything. $100 buy-in, and winner takes 1,000 home type thing. So
nice. Are you the only dude from your gyms that you train with that are going in it? I would imagine you don't fight training partners, do you? Or
no, well, I haven't competed against training partner, but I have a training partner actually in it too. That he was in the last one too. He competes a lot. He's just more. That's all he does is the jiu-jitsu, and he competes a lot. He's really good, but he's in it too.
Excellent. This is a gi jiu-jitsu or no gi?
No gi.
So we just had Jeff Joy on, who's looking to make his pro debut. He's getting in, and I think I spoke to you when we were getting ready we're talking about setting up the interview, that we got some combat jiu-jitsu and some jiu-jitsu going on down here. Are you into combat? Would you do combat jiu-jitsu? Is that something that interests you? Is that something that you've seen that you might want to slap people around while you're trying to put that joke in?
Yeah, I've seen it before. It looks pretty cool. I mean, I've never really had to seen like where I would be able to get the opportunity to do it. But I mean, if there was an opportunity and I got offered, I mean, yeah, sure, I could be cool. Yeah.
Well, dude, keep your calendars open because we,
Yeah, I know.
yeah, these tournaments down here, Enigma, the dudes just opened up a gym in I think in January or something, and it's all no gi. It focuses all on no gi. They've been having some tournaments, and now they just they got some combat jiu-jitsu super fights happening. So maybe we can throw you one of those down the line. You know, we got to get you in the MMA cage first, but you know
Yeah,
what I mean. We'd like to see you slap some people around while you're choking them out.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I would definitely do it. Yeah.
So what weight is this tournament at? Is it what's the weight gap actually? Is it just
So so the one I'm doing this weekend, it's 195 pounds and under bracket. But so that's the one I'm signed up for right now. It's 195 pounds and under. But I was actually just talking to the promoter today. They're also doing the same night a 195 pounds and over, so open weight tournament. And he sent a message out to the group that with the guys in my tournament saying, hey, you know, I have a couple slots open if everyone's interested. So I told him I think I'm going to jump in, do both brackets for, you know, why not?
excellent, my man? So you're gonna be busy, man. You might have some extra cash in your pocket, and all that other stuff, man. So anything else going on you want to talk about before I, let you hit the road and get home and start driving? What are you in a rest stop right now? Or are you like in a Cumberland Farms parking lot?
No, I'm just in the parking lot right outside my gym.
Be great if a cop pulled up and go, "Hey, brother, what are you doing over here?"
Yeah.
So
But,
anything else you want to talk about before I, let you go? The one thing I want to say, John, is your dad's a huge supporter of you. I think that's who it is.
Yeah,
He messages me every so often on Messenger, and when I say you're going to be on the show, he goes nuts. We had a little conversation back and forth today, man. He's your biggest fan. He wishes he could be in the place of you. He wants to get in the cage too. He told me, or he wishes he could have gotten in the cage.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah, he talks about that. He would have liked to be able to do this, but I mean, obviously, when he was my age, it just wasn't even really a thing. You know, they're almost 25, 30 years ago. I mean, there wasn't really maybe that was like the time of the very first UFC started, so it wasn't really a thing. But yeah, he would have liked to get a chance to jump in there.
Excellent. Well, I know you came from a football background and you got into the MMA and jiu-jitsu a little later in your life. Was he like? Was he like when you said you were going to start MMA and stuff like that? Was that something that he was like really excited about, or was that something new that he learned about when you jumped into it?
Yeah, he was always supportive and excited about it. I mean, he always wanted me to try to go beyond and play football farther up, but I mean, that wasn't very realistic for me. So when I started training, I really got into it, and I was like, okay, I got a real chance to be a professional athlete doing this. Yeah, it would have been great to go to the NFL or something like that, but it wasn't really in the cards for me. So yeah, so once I started this, he was supportive of it, and obviously now he's a huge supporter of it. So yeah.
Excellent, my man. Well, before I let you give your shout-outs and stuff like that, I think Travis Alaj just put that CFFC has the back-to-back cards. I think he just said that the second night is canceled. So,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, March or April?
I think the March one. So I think the 12th is canceled. That's not confirmed. He said that on my thing. Which means look at that card, see who's at 170 and try to like butt someone out and say, I'll fight you in April. We're gonna start calling. We're gonna start calling people out, John. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make some memes. I got award-winning memes out there. I'm gonna make some memes with John.
I know. I gotta get something. I wanna stay busy. I can't sit out for another 6 or 7 months just trying to find a fight.
Yeah, I'm sure Laz is going to get you one sooner than later. And, winning this or doing really good in this jiu-jitsu competition, we'll be able to throw your name out there. Like, this guy's choking people out everywhere and all that good stuff, man. So, last thing, John, throw out social media, friends, anything you want to say, sponsors, throw it out. Now's your chance.
Yeah, just, appreciate everyone who supports me, training partners, friends, family. I actually just got 2 new sponsors. My first sponsors ever. I've never really done the sponsor thing, but Belfield Realty. they recently just reached out. They sponsored me for my next fight, so that was awesome. Big thanks to them. They're from my hometown, not Waterville, New York. And also just recently, a guy named Mike Young. He runs Young Chiropractic. He's hooking me up with free adjustments and free sessions. So he's another one that's hooking me up and sponsoring me for my next fight. So yeah, it's cool.
Excellent, my man. Well, you got a witch doctor and a chiropractor, man. You're all
yeah,
man.
Yeah, that's that.
Last thing, man. Social media. I think it's Jonathan Piersma kind of everywhere, but throw it out there. We got to get you on Instagram. Get that moving.
Yeah. It's just that, Jonathan.
I got it up here anyway. I'm just teasing you anyway.
Yeah.
Well, John, man, it's a pleasure. You good luck in that tournament this weekend. Bring it home, get that money, and dude, I can't wait to announce something for you. I want to see you fight. I want you back in that cage. It looks like CFFC in April. We'll start calling out 170, welterweights and get you something going.
Oh, give me something. I'm ready to go.
All right, my man. Well, John, a pleasure for you calling in, and we'll talk again real soon when something comes up, all right?
All right, cool. Sounds good.
All right, man. You have a good night. Drive safe.
All right, thank you.
All right, later.
Yep.
Well, there you go. Jon Piersma. I'm so sorry. I keep saying that. So, that's cool, man. So, John is fighting this. Let me throw his poster out there one more time just in case. Sorry. Where is it? Oh, I didn't even put up I had pictures of him with his camp and stuff like that. But I don't know. Oh, there it is. All right. So one last thing. Let me put John's tournament picture up there. John's always a fun interview. I've interviewed him 3 times. Basically just met him when he was going to fight for CFFC. Very, really, really, really good dude. 170-pound killer. This guy is a killer. He took out that kid real quick. Kid was 6-0, Tyler Bunting. Kid was really good. But John was so much better. So last thing before we get going, I'm going to throw this up one more time because Friday night, Richie Santiago fights at Titan FC. He flew down. He got there today. He's fighting this gentleman, Montez, who is 6-0. Young guy. Not that Ricky isn't young. I think Ricky's 28. This kid's 26. I don't think this kid has fought in a couple of years. I know he tried to get fights, but they fell through. We also have Fabio Charant. He is fighting this Friday night at LFA. That is huge. Fabio will be fighting for the light heavyweight title there against this gentleman, Dennis. I don't know if it's an open title, a vacant title, or this dude, Dennis, is defending it. But it is Friday night, and Richard's fight is Friday night. They're both on Fight Pass, so don't know if they're going to be showing at the same time. It's highly unlikely that they'll be these 2 fights will be on at the same time. So we'll be able to go back and forth watching these. So check them out. Richie Santiago, Fabio Charant. Today, Travis Lazat put out an article on Richie's fight. Tomorrow, he is putting one out on Fabio Charant's fight. I do have a interview out with Richie that I did last week. If you want to check that out, that is all over our social media feeds. I also did an interview with Damon Blackshear, who I think is the main event at Titan FC. He is fighting their guy. Dude that's coming off a contender win. I forgot his name. What's his name? Last thing before I go. Danny Sabatello, 9-1. So Damon Blackshear, who has beat a couple of our New England guys. Two of them. He beat Mike Kimball at Bellator 249 back in October with a rear naked choke, first round. And he beat Cody Norby with a rear naked choke at CES. He fought Chris Motino, lost the decision there. That was a huge stand-up battle. Chris came out on top of that. So, Damon, I do have an interview out with him. It's really, really good. The dude is a really, really good guy. So, we've started interviewing fighters from out of New England. We're trying to get them get play all over. We're trying to get out there and get our names everywhere, which means your names get everywhere, because if people follow us, they follow you. So with that said, join New England MMA on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. We are everywhere. We post all the time. We always have results. Even join my ambassador page. Even though it's a shit post page now, it's kind of funny. It is funny. My memes are gold. So with that said, next week we're going to be giving away a shirt or a hoodie. I'm not sure yet. So tune in next week. We have a couple of big fighters on that also fought last week. I'm not going to tell you who they are. I'm going to make another poster, and we will have them on next week. A couple of weeks, I'll have John Doomer down here with a couple of Triforce guys. They'll be live in studio talking about the Enigma tournament, where Jon Doomer will be grappling, combat jiu-jitsu grappling against Johnny Campbell. That's a huge matchup, which is going to be a lot of fun. With that said, we are out of here. Tomorrow, this podcast will be on YouTube, will be on NewEnglandMMA.org. It will be on all the podcast sites. So with that said, thank you. Good night. Adios.